Hey guys, it's Josh back with another mine rant. Um, I died again off screen. I keep playing like a couple minutes to like try to do a little bit more, and then I fucking die. I died over there. I don't know if my stuff despawned. I like rage quit. But we can go find it. Actually, I probably should go to sleep. Welcome back to another mine rant. Today I want to. Oh wait, before we get started, someone in my last video commented that I should make a Discord. And I thought that was a really good idea. I wish I would have thought of that at the beginning. But yeah, I made a Discord. It's just called Mine Rant. You know, you guys can join if you want to. Just a place where we can all kind of come together and talk. Maybe give video ideas, or even if you guys want to be in these videos, or just play or hang out. I'll put that link in the description. It's my first ever time making a Discord, so it might be a little shitty. So just bear with me. But yeah, if you guys want to just connect and talk, maybe like-minded people, or you know, whatever people do in Discord, I don't know. Yeah, feel free to join. Yeah, so last mine rant was about acceptance. This rant I want to talk about just moving on and moving on in life. I wanted to start with, Jesus Christ, the snow. I wanted to start with why moving on is hard. Number one being the emotional attachment to the past. And that can be either, you know, people, places, or just memories in general. I'm not gonna make alright, bet. So moving on can be hard because, you know, you have these attachments to people. For example, if it's a ex-lover in my case, that I'm struggling to get over because I have so much attachment to that person. If it's a certain place that, you know, maybe it's an old house you used to live at, or a job you used to work at, or just memories in general, you know, that can kind of, that's like a more broad category because we all have memories that, you know, we miss, or maybe something that we regret, and it's hard to move on from. And, you know, unfortunately, moving on is letting that go in a sense. You know, these things or these events or whatever it might be has happened. And, you know, moving on in a sense to where it won't affect you, or at least affect you in a more less negative way, more positive light, is letting it go, or at least loosening the control that it once had over you. Yeah, my stuff despawned, bro. R.I.P. I had just like, for some reason I carry all my fucking iron on me every time I go out, so we're cooked. And you know, next I would say fear of the unknown and what comes next. That's a real. Oh, let's go! Yes, sir. I was not expecting that. Wow. Yeah, fear of the unknown and what comes next. I think everybody kind of struggles with this a little bit. Man, look how much I said I had a whole stack of iron. I had 26. Calm down, buddy. I think everybody kind of struggles with that a little bit. You know, it's scary not knowing what's gonna happen. That's something I struggle with every single day of my entire life. You know, I was living for a relationship for so long, and the fact that it ended, you know, it was like shell shock. I'm like, what's coming next? I don't know how to live. I'm having to relearn how to live life, which sounds crazy, but that's just what my life was for a while. And so it's scary, you know, how am I gonna function without this person? How am I gonna, you know, whatever it may be. So yeah, that fear of the unknown is definitely scary. You know, maybe it's like you're trying to quit your job and you're like scared, maybe I won't make enough money where I go next, or maybe the people there won't be as nice, or the job I'll do bad at, you know, whatever it may be. It's scary not knowing. And then I would say guilt or regret over things left unresolved. I kind of touched on the guilt before. Just having this guilt, like, man, I could have done this differently. I could have said this word and maybe we wouldn't have gotten to this fight or broken up or whatever it might be. Or, you know, I just wish I could go back and do this, especially like when you're laying down for bed. And like, at least in my case, I'll go through every embarrassing or traumatic moment in my entire life. And I'll just sit there cringing. It's that guilt, like, man, I wish I could have done this differently. I wish I could have not wronged this person in this way. So in a sense, you have to just learn how to let that go in life and move on. I'm gonna be like, I don't think these are gonna connect. Fuck me, dude. So I would say next, comes with moving on. There can be the illusion of closure. You know, we often as humans wait for closure, but it's not always real, or even necessary in a sense. What I mean by that, like, you don't need. Oh, let's go. There's not always gonna be a happy fairy tale ending for every single situation in life, and unfortunately, you know, as much as, you know, it would be nice, There's not always going to be a bow on everything or play out like how you might want it to, which can suck because, who wouldn't want things to go perfectly as planned, or who wouldn't, whatever it may be. And we have to just be okay with that. We have to accept that, we're not always going to get what we want. And we have to just accept that, like, as humans, we move on. We have to keep moving. 'Cause life's going to keep going on. Regardless, if you sit here every day and wait for this closure, this ending that you think you're owed or you think you need, you might just be waiting forever. And that's no life to live. You have to accept that some things will remain unfinished, unfortunately. Like, you're, like, eating a burger and, like, man, it's like the best burger you ever had, or, whatever it may be, and you're full. This is such a bad analogy. I don't even know where I'm going with this. But you might not be able to finish that burger. It's unfinished. And that's just, you have to be okay with that. And that's just something that's a part of life. Moving on is about personal peace and not tying up every loose end. You don't need to tie up every single, you don't need to tie up every single loose end that you had, or, make amends with every single person in your entire life that you've ever wronged. Obviously that's a nice thing to do, but it's unrealistic. There's always gonna be someone out there that doesn't like you, or, didn't like something that you did. And, if you're always worried about pleasing everybody or making amends for every single mistake you ever did, you're never gonna be happy. It's gonna be probably the most depressing life, ever, unfortunately, because it's just unrealistic. And, you learn from this, there's lessons, versus baggage. The difference between carrying lessons forward versus dwelling on the past, you have to kind of suss that out. You have to take these events in your life as lessons for the future. Like, okay, this is what happened. I did this person wrong. I hurt their feelings, or vice versa. How can I do better going forward? So when the situation does arise again, something similar, like, I've been here before. I understand it now. And you can handle it better. Versus, just dwelling on the pain, like, fuck, I really messed up. I said the wrong thing to this person. They hate me now. We broke up. And then you just dwell on that forever, and you never, move on. And then if a situation like this does come up again, instead of, all this time you were building yourself up and learning how to do better, you've just been the same person, then you're going to continue to make the same mistakes. I need to start going down, and I don't know how to do that. Maybe like a water bucket or something. I have to learn how to reframe past experience as growth opportunities. So basically, just take this time, while there is some peace in your life, like, because there's always, I was gonna say calm before the storm, but there's always, like, some peace eventually. Even if your life is crazy, I'm sure there's a moment of downtime where you can reflect. You have to take time to reflect on these past mistakes or past events and take it as growth. Like, okay, this happened. I can't change it. Let's grow. Okay, let's reflect. This is exactly what happened. Here's how I acted. Yeah, I might have been wrong, but I can't change that now. How can I improve? And then you just go from there. I'm gonna make a bucket. And, unfortunately, with this growth and personal reflection, sometimes comes resentment. But you have to be able to see past that. I used to a bucket. What the hell is wrong with me? You have to be able to see past that and make space for new things, make space for new events. If you just it's so easy to fill up on resentment. I mean, let me tell you, it's something that can be quick, just always think, man, I hate this person, or I can't believe I did this, I resent myself, or whatever it may be. It's so easy to fill up on that. It's a very fulfilling thing, unfortunately. So you have to be able to see past that resentment and make space for growth. And once you start seeing past these things, you'll begin to forgive yourself and others. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgiving or forgetting or excusing, but it basically just means freeing yourself from these shackles that you basically put yourself in. So learning to forgive yourself, for example, like, oh, I called this person a mean name, or I cheated on this person in the past. Forgiving yourself doesn't mean forgetting what you did by any means. Like, you still did something that hurt someone, but learning to forgive yourself means, like, okay, you're freeing yourself from this stress forever, whether that means you took some time to reflect and realize, hey, why did I cheat on this person? What was my reasoning for it? Okay, I understand that now. I won't do that again, or I'll do better. And so you're basically not just, man, I'm a shitty person for the rest of your life. You made a mistake. Yeah, it might have been a bad one, but we're all humans. We all make mistakes. And I don't think you should have to be labeled as, oh, it's really pretty. What the fuck? I've never seen those trees before. Or at least they don't look like that. So yeah, just have to learn how to free yourself from these shackles that we put ourselves in. But you can still remember what you did and reflect. Same with forgiving people. I've been done wrong by so many people my entire life. And you just come to learn that, like, it's not worth it staying angry all the time. Sometimes you feel so much better if you just let it go. And you don't have to forgive them necessarily for what they might have done, but you can just learn to let them go and maybe change your relationship with them, maybe be more cordial, instead of more personal or whatever it may be. You just have to learn to let it go. Wow, this is really pretty. Um, and the weight, like I said before, the weight of resentment is very strong. The weight of holding grudges versus the relief of letting go. Promise, like in once you let something go, it's gonna be very confusing, very hard at first, especially if you have a lot of feelings for it. But in the long term, you'll feel so much better and you'll feel so much more relief that, or yeah, you'll feel just so much more lighter in life and more happy, I'd say. This is gonna take, I don't even know how to do this, honestly. I should probably build up from the ground, huh? Oh, wait, why did I do that? Yeah, just like the weight of letting go is versus holding on to it forever, you'll feel so much better as a human. Just coming from personal experience, obviously everybody's different. That's just my personal experience. Um, how to handle people who don't deserve a second chance. You have to learn that as well. Not everybody, just because you forgive someone doesn't mean you have to give them a second chance. Whether that's you're friends with them or whether you get back with them in a romantic way or whatever it may be. You can learn how you want to, take that. Because not everybody deserves a second chance. That doesn't mean you have to hate them forever, but you don't have to have them in your life either. You can learn to let someone go. And, like, hey, I forgive you for what you did, or I understand what you did, but I just don't want you in my life. I've had exes before where I've reached out like, hey, we were both young. If I hurt you in any way, I'm sorry. I would love to, catch up and, get coffee sometime or talk things out, so I can get your perspective on things. And she straight up told me like, hey, I'm doing really good in life, and I'm leaving this in the past. I don't want you in my life. And at first I was like, wow, that kind of sucks. What did I do? Blah blah blah. And it was like instant anger. But as I've grown older and learned to understand things, I've let that go. And I'm like, okay, I understand. She's allowed to do that. That's okay. I'm okay with that. I might not deserve a second chance in her eyes, and I have to just be okay with that. Um, and with this moving on, and when you're understanding these things, you'll learn how to rebuild and rediscover yourself. And focusing on what you can control instead of what you lost. There's a lot of things that you can actually control in your life. You can't control everything, but there is a lot of things you can control. And that includes, rebuilding yourself and finding out like who Josh is or wherever you are, whatever that means for you. Trying new things, meeting new people, or even just reinventing yourself. That's what I've been doing. Fucking build a garden in my backyard. I've been I've been reading a lot. I've been, just taking time to myself and figuring out who I am. And that might lead to you letting go of an older version of yourself. It's easy to fall back into like older versions of, who you might have once been or who you've always been, instead of, but, with reinventing yourself becomes, it leads to letting go of that older version of yourself. And, eventually you'll start seeing signs that you are moving on from whatever situation you were in. You'll feel lighter when you think of the past. You're not going to be like hit with instant anxiety, like if someone brings your ex up or you see a photo of her. You're no longer seeking validation from people who have hurt you. You're not like, man, I have to check my phone every 3 seconds to see if they texted me. I have to, whatever it may be. You're no longer doing that, and you're being more present and future focused rather than just dwelling on what ifs all the time. That's been a lot of my life. It's just like, what if we get back together? What if this that? Eventually you'll just be like, okay, this is my life right now, and what am I having for dinner? I'm present in the moment. What am I doing after work? How can I do better here and here? So that is just my take on moving on in the process. I obviously am very much in the midst of this, taking big steps for myself, and it's just a long process, and I am nervous for the ride, but I'm also excited in a lot of ways to see what happens and what I discover about myself. Hey guys, I'm gonna wrap up this one. I really hope you enjoyed it. Ooh, you slut. Um, if you guys enjoyed it, please leave a like. And like I said, there's the Discord in the description if you'd like to check it out. You can come hop in there, talk to me, talk to whoever else joins up. I think there's just me and my friend in there right now, so it's pretty empty. Yeah, guys, I love every single one of you. I appreciate you guys being here. Peace.